guys, Dash from Bloom Where You're Planted. So it's springtime, it's the time for baby chicks. And as you might remember, we had 2 roosters and a little hen. Well, you can't just put a little hen all by itself into a flock of 17 adult birds. So we needed some more chicks to make a little group for her, a little flock of itself, and then you can introduce them a lot more easily to the big flock. And so we thought, well, if we're gonna get chicks, we might as well get ones that lay a special colored egg, and that's a chocolate brown egg. So these new babies, are a cross between a copper Moran and a Barney. Look how fuzzy they are. They're like Chewbacca. They're like Chewbacca fuzzy. If you guys can see that. Look at that fuzziness. Isn't that sweet? Do you want to hold one, bestie? Yes. Come sit right here. You can hold one. They sweet.
So soft.
I know. So there's another one that we got. There we go. Calm down. Ooh. There's another one that we got. And I will leave a link in the description to the lady that we got them from, in case anyone is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you also want some copper Morans that lay a dark chocolate brown egg. Aren't they beautiful? And then we got a little black and white one. Isn't that something? Sarah, it looks like a little penguin. Isn't he cute?
You should name it Happy Feet if it stays that way.
Maybe so. Okay. I've been calling it Pongo just as a nickname.
Oh, Happy Feet, Pongo, and Surfer.
All right.
Alright, this is now my chick forever. See ya.
So this brings me to the point, several of my friends have also wanted to raise chicks this spring, and they wanted to know how to do it. So this is my favorite setup, some sort of large cage that you can put inside your house, especially if you have kids. It's really fun to be able to hear the chirping throughout your house. Listen to that. That is the sweetest sound of spring. And to be able to have the kids come and watch them as they grow and develop, I think that's really fun. Now if you do it inside like I like to do, you're going to need a couple things. And one important thing to note is that you're going to need a light. You can get that at any feed store when you buy your chicks, but they're going to be selling a little bit stronger bulb. They're going to be selling a red bulb that's 250 watts. And I just went to my Ace Hardware and I got a bulb that was 100 watts because with the 250 watt, when you're inside and you've got, you know, good ambient temperature in your house, it's just a little strong for the chicks. It's hard to regulate it so that, you know, it isn't too hot for them. And so do that. And then we just clamped it. I think the clamp comes with the lamp. So we just clamped it on here and strung it through the cage too. And then we can raise it up and down for heat regulation. You might want a thermometer, but you can just watch how your chicks act. If they bunch up together all the time, then they're kind of cold. If they're out roaming around and they're eating, then they're plenty warm. So you can just kind of watch your chicks. The first time I did chicks, I got a thermometer and I regulated the temperature. And what you basically want is you want it to be 100 degrees the first week, and then you're going to go down 5 degrees each week. So the second week would be 95 degrees and then 90 degrees. You get the idea, until your outside temperature matches the temperature that you've got your chicks at. So another thing you're going to need is just a water. And they will be selling those at the feed store. There was a plastic to this. They usually have plastic ones, but we just replaced it with a ball jar because they all fit ball jars. And then you need, oh, and we propped it up. See how we propped it up? So it doesn't get stuff kicked up into it. So you want to prop yours up. And then we got a feeder. Same thing. I'm using fermented feed. And we propped that one up too so that they wouldn't kick stuff into it. All right, and then we put a perching bar and a mirror in there. Just kind of fun. It's kind of fun, especially if you have kids. They go up to the mirror and they see themselves, and it's really kind of cool. Now, one thing that we did different this year that I've never done before is we did sand for the bedding. We did all-purpose sand that you would get in the concrete aisle at your hardware store, opposed to the play sand. This is the all-purpose sand. I think because it has bigger pieces and littler pieces. Anyway, I've always done the brooder floor with wood chips, but a friend of mine, my best friend, convinced me that sand was a better way to go because they kick those wood chips into the food and they kick them up into the water. So you're constantly changing out the water. You're constantly trying to get those wood chips out of the food. And so she talked me into this. It took 2 bags of sand to fill this up. And it's really worked out good so far. I really like it. And they make some beautiful little footprints in the sand. It's really precious. And if they eat it, I believe that's just kind of, you can give them chick grit. So I believe if they ate pieces, little pebbles and stuff from the sand, that would not hurt them at all. Opposed to if they eat little pieces of the wood chips, they can get a little bit constipated and have pasty butts. I should mention that. Always want to check your little chicks for pasty butts. It's just as simple as just, you know, checking their little bums and making sure everything's clear, because they can get stopped up there and they won't be able to eliminate their waste and they can get very sick very quickly. So just in the first couple weeks, just keep your eye out, just pick them each up every night and check their little bums. And if they have a messy bum, just take it to the sink and we just rinse it off with warm water and a little rag and just wipe it clean. This little one's getting a little bum bath. Got a tiny bit of pasty butt there. It's important you don't pull. You don't want to pull their little feathers out. So you just
that would hurt.
Get it really wet.
Yeah,
if something's stuck, you don't want to pull it, huh? Yeah, you just kind of work it loose. There it goes. All done. If you want to do it outside, that's good too. I have done it in my garage before, and I just basically put 4 boards together, just screwed them together. And I just put them on the floor of my garage and put the wood chips in. You could use sand also in that case, but I just put plain boards together and made a little pen. And then I had a brooder lamp, and I had it attached to the rafters of my garage so I could just lower it down to where I needed it. And in that case, since it was in my garage and it was cold, I used a 250 red light bulb. The reason you use a red bulb is because they need like a nighttime, you don't want to have a bright light on them all day and all night. You want something, and I think that the red is just a lot better for that than having a bright shining light on them. And so basically, I think that's the only real difference. You would just need the water and the feeder. Be sure to prop them up just like we do inside. The main difference between in the garage and in the house is that you need more heat, so you need that stronger lamp, in my opinion. So we are really, really enjoying these little guys, and I hope that you can get spring chicks and really have that blessing in your house for spring. They are so magical to watch, and especially if you have kids, it's really fun for the kids to get to see that new life in the springtime. And yeah. All right, I think that's it. Enjoying spring, peeping. Bye.